I feel like I should have brought something.
Yes, you should have.
All right. I think we're running.
I think we are. I think we're live. Yes, we are. Cool. Hey, man.
Yeah. What's up? Look at this. We're side by side. This is crazy.
Yeah.
This is different. All right. We're trying something new, so hopefully this works out, folks.
Yeah, a whole new program that we're using. So.
And if this free version doesn't save, then we've just had a conversation for the fun of it.
And hopefully anybody else who's going to be watching and
if anyone joins in, so it's cool. I can pop up comments here.
You're gonna pop up some comics?
Comics, yeah. I should. We should just read comics together. That's a little easier. That's not bad. Look at that.
So, okay, there we go.
That's Fatty's brother. He said that was a fun watch. I guess they can comment before the video starts. That's kind of cool.
Okay, awesome. Hey, John.
Look at that. What's up?
So, it is Monday evening.
Yes.
We got quite the interesting podcast coming out, episode coming out on Wednesday morning.
Yes. Hey, what up, Frazier? What up, Lewis? Look at that.
So that's good. So I can't see everybody that's in.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I can hit stuff like they're just saying what's up.
Yeah, cool, awesome.
That's cool.
So we have got quite the interesting, like I said, the interesting show coming up on Wednesday. What are we talking about? What are you talking about?
We're talking about the brand new Netflix movie, Project Power.
Yeah,
it's Project Power. No, it's not Power Project. It's Project Power.
Project Power. Yeah.
Yes.
Also, not. We've got the Power by CNC Music Factory.
Oh man!
Although that song they actually should have used in the movie.
No,
I don't know why they didn't. Yeah,
no, it would have been
when they pop those capsules and hear. Yeah.
No. Oh man, that would have been a disaster. Okay, so be like when you first saw it, like we kind of like Lewis is talking about Captain Power. It's pretty funny.
Oh, remember
he's our
Captain
hero.
Power?
Yeah.
And when you had the guns that you would point them at at your TV screen. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
we're
man,
old. We are old.
Yeah, I see that stuff at the toy shows. But yeah, when we first saw the trailer, I don't remember if we posted it to the group or whatever. I'm pretty sure I posted it on Facebook or whatever. Were you initially hyped for it, or did you just hear about this when we're like, hey, we're doing this for a podcast?
No. I was hyped for it. I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, sweet. I felt that there was no real lead up. We didn't get a trailer 4 months out, or like Netflix is notorious for just dropping something like 2 weeks before it, right? A trailer 2 weeks before it releases. So we got it about 3 weeks, I guess, or so before it dropped on Netflix. And it looked cool, man. That trailer sold me. I was actually pretty hyped to see the movie.
Yeah. I remember when I first watched the trailer, I turned it off partway through.
Okay.
So I was like, I know I'm going to watch this. So I was like, let me turn it off. And I heard it actually was of benefit to me. But yeah, I think Lewis said something here. He said, it's a smarter marketing play because people still remember. Like I was actually surprised it came out already. I was like, oh, it's out already. Oh, sweet. I can't wait to watch it. Right. As opposed to like, I don't know, several months in advance. And then we're like, whoa, okay. I forgot about it and it drops and people forget that it's out and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you know what, though? When you have a movie of that magnitude, I don't see there being... Oh, and you dropped out there. When you have a movie of that magnitude, I don't see that being that big of a deal to be to hype it up months in advance. Now, they did release a new trailer for Tom Holland's new movie. And it's a really long title, so I can't remember what it is. But with Robert Pattinson. Now that comes out, I want to say the end of September. So that's about a month. So that's good. I mean, that hyped me up to see that movie. So, but sometimes it's, and there's a new Hillary Swank movie. I think she's a NASA astronaut. That's like
Hillary
October.
Swank? Well, haven't heard that name in a while.
Right, the next Karate Kid. So that one is coming out, I think, in October, Matt.
We'll talk about $1 Million Baby instead of Next Karate Kid. This guy. Yeah, Next Karate Kid. What a great movie.
And she was also in Beverly Hills 90210. But yeah, so this week we talked about Project Power. That does not include CNC Music Factory.
Sadly.
There is yourself, me, Andre, as always, Stu Pei, and then special guest Tim Baratis.
Yes. Special guest Tim, thanks for coming on. I invited him last minute when I found out he also liked the movie, and I didn't want to. Well, let's not give it away, but I didn't want to be alone in my opinion of the movie.
You wanted there to be a fairer balance of discussion.
Ideally, yes.
Right.
But generally, a lot of people are giving positive. Like, look, Fraser here says he thought it was cool. And a lot of people, like, I posted the kind of sneak preview of the podcast. A lot of people were like, I liked it, I dug it. So we won't spoil too much of what you're going to hear.
I don't want. No, but you know what? No, but it does make me wonder though if, and without giving away what I think of the movie, if say one of us was to not like it, it makes me wonder though if if we're just kind of like it's on because there's nowhere else to go. We're not watching Tenet in the theaters right now. There's no Wonder Woman 84. Like there's none of these big tentpole movies that we would have been talking about. So we're now getting like Project Power, and there might be people who are like, yeah, it was cool, it was all right, it was a watch. But how does that hold up if this was a normal year with every other release coming out? How would it fare? So it's an interesting conversation. We're never going to crack the nut on that tonight, but it is interesting to find out, like, do these Netflix movies, are they just stopgaps? Are they just, yeah, it's okay, it's cool, it's a good watch, I didn't have to go out and pay for it, right? So
yeah, it's very, very interesting indeed that, like, since we started doing the podcast, it's kind of weird because we haven't had any movies to go to, and typically us two would go see something in the theater and we'd be able to chat about it, right? So,
yeah, well, because think about it, by now we would have had Black Widow. Black Widow was supposed to drop May. By this point, you almost would have had it dropping on Blu-ray in the next couple of weeks, right? We would have had Black Widow. We would have had Wonder Woman 84, Top Gun, everything that was supposed to be coming out this summer, right? The new Bond movie, even though that moved to November, but still it was originally April. Like, think of all the things, Tenet, all the things that we would have had. So if you think about that, and those movies are solid-looking movies, right? Like those 5 titles I mentioned, none of them looked weak in any capacity. So would Project Power hold up? Do these Netflix movies, I saw that, I think it was Steven said he hasn't watched The Old Guard yet.
Yeah.
But does The Old Guard hold up to these movies that we would have gotten? I don't know what the answer to that is. It's only for you or anybody else watching to decide.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like we kind of touch on it a little bit, the whole idea of a Netflix genre of movies now.
Yes.
So like a movie that's quite not like movie theater, like it feels like a low budget movie, but they still have budget, right? Like they still, like, this movie in particular was 80 million, which isn't peanuts, right? No. Like I think John Wick was done for what, 40 million or something like that.
Said 40, but to be honest with you, I thought it was like 25 or something. Like I thought it was low. So
yeah. So something like that can be a blockbuster, and it definitely like does John Wick look similar to a quote unquote Netflix movie? Or an Amazon, like, does Amazon Prime have their original movies? They have original TV shows.
They do have some original movies as well, but if you're asking me to think of one, I can't.
Yeah. That's okay.
Actually, what they've been doing a lot recently, though, is they've been licensing a lot of the movies that have come out that haven't hit Netflix, like Capone, the Josh Trank movie with Bane. Tom Hardy. Yes, they have that. They've had a lot of actually decent movies that have hit theaters that have Gemini Man, the Will Smith. I haven't seen that yet, but that's on Amazon Prime.
And that has a similar feel to a quote unquote Netflix movie.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to watch
the way Gemini Man was kind of filmed, like we touched on a little bit during the podcast about the aspect ratio and how it looks and stuff. Gemini Man, I felt, really did look different. I did see it in what did I see it in? What's the format called where the chairs move again now?
D-Box, right?
Yeah, D-Box, AVX or whatever, and it actually looked really good. Like I was very impressed. So I don't know if it was specially shot.
Yes,
but like it looked crystal clear. It was
unreal.
So
that was that was the first movie, and I hope there's a cinephile that's on watching. I think it was filmed at 60 frames per second, or maybe it was 100 frames per second. So that
I think you're right. I think I did.
Was the first one that was filmed at that type of a speed. So that would explain, if you saw it in the theater, why it looks so clear. How it transitions online, I don't know. I haven't watched it yet. So
yeah. So Lewis asked if that movie was good. I did enjoy Gemini Man in theaters. A lot of people disliked it. The technology behind it is crazy. Like I think we referenced it a couple times during the podcast, but the young Will Smith looked incredibly good. I felt.
Yeah.
And if you watched it on something that was like lower quality, I know some people watch like bootlegs of it after and stuff. I didn't take their opinion with much weight after, because I'm like, you know what, if you kind of saw it in this ghetto quality, then you probably didn't appreciate how much that young Will Smith like looked real. Like,
Yeah.
but Gemini Man like is I guess it's like a bad example, because apparently that script sat on shelves for like, I don't know, decades or something.
Yeah.
And then it finally got like dusted off, and you can tell it looks very dated. Someone probably should have kind of went in and like script doctored it and stuff like that.
Updated it for yeah, you're right, because I feel like I'm trying to remember who it was who was originally attached to that like years and years and years ago, but I can't think of who it was. But it is interesting. Listen, I mean, the one thing I really enjoyed about the podcast, first of all, is a lively debate that we had this week, and those who are watching right now, listen, you can watch it on YouTube. You can go to Stitcher, to Google Play. You can go on to Spotify and on iTunes. So you can get the podcast now wherever you get your podcasts, which is really cool. So please, subscribe, do all that type of stuff, get the reviews going. That it helps.
Just download,
in your downloads. Don't just like subscribe to the podcast. Don't just download each episode if it comes out. You have to subscribe to it, because at least it helps us try to get the word out, because we like doing it and we want to do more of them.
Yeah.
But the one nice thing about it, aside from there was a lot of crazy banter this week, and there might be a couple of moments where you might be like, oh, but at any rate, the nice thing about it is we did talk about this, the way that these movies are being shot, and it does, at least I think, it spurred an interesting conversation and a think piece, which is kind of what we've touched on now, is has Netflix now replaced the made-for-TV movie formula that you knew it wasn't a Hollywood blockbuster, but it was still decent, right? So it's interesting. I would love to have a conversation with anybody about that again, to see. I
think like anyone in the chat now, if you're still here, it sounds like there's only 4 people. But if you watched it, what did you watch it on? Did you watch it on your TV? Did you watch it on your phone? Did you watch it on your iPad? Did you watch it on a laptop? Did you watch it on a desktop computer? Like, if anyone wants to.
Well, what do you watch your Netflix on, John?
I like to watch it usually on my PS4. Is my ideal situation. It's connected to my TV with the sound system and stuff hooked up. But my girls do a good job of taking that over.
Yeah.
or they're kind of around, and when some violence or some of the darker stuff goes on the screen, they like shut it off or get scared. So I end up having to watch it on an iPad. Ideally, is my next choice. With headphones, which is not bad, because the headphones actually sound pretty good. And then my last choice is on my phone, so it's tough. So let's see. Lewis has got an answer here for us. So he mostly watches on TV. Via Android TV and a Netflix app. Yeah, so I think that's the ideal situation, right? You want to be watching on your TV.
And Scott says he watches it on TV. It looks like as well. Scott, we're talking about how you watch your Netflix shows, or your Hulu shows, or your HBO shows, and your movies mostly. So I know for me, movies, I will watch.
Fraser watching a 60-inch plasma.
Fraser.
You also have a 60, right? Yeah.
I do. I bought my 60-inch plasma screen when I moved into this current house. Hence the wood paneling in the room here, because we haven't updated that room. But literally 3 weeks later, there was a whole story of that. Everybody was canceling making plasma televisions, and I was like, "What?" And I have a 3D television. I bought into the 3DP Blu-ray with the glasses. So now I'm an idiot. But
it was a big deal at the time. I don't blame you for buying into that.
Dredd, I've said this before, Dredd in 3D is phenomenal. You have to watch it. I like to watch it on if I don't watch it on the PS4 on the TV downstairs, I have a 55 4K in my living room. Sometimes I'll sit with the dog at night and watch stuff up there. TV shows, it depends what it is. Umbrella Academy, which we actually have to talk about at some point. Yeah. I prefer watching on the TV as opposed to the iPad. But right now I'm watching Sopranos, and 90% of what I've been watching has been on TV, but that 10% is on my iPad. I try not to watch things on my phone unless like I'm camping or I'm in the car waiting for like my wife to come out of shopping or whatever it is, right? So I try not to watch stuff on my phone.
it's weird to watch stuff in public. Like, you're like watching it, and you're kind of like looking around at someone like watching you watch this movie. It's kind of a weird feeling. I used to download those iTunes movies and stuff to an iPad when you're waiting for your car to get done or whatever, and it just feels weird.
It does, but I don't mind.
But I'll watch on my phone sometimes when it's really late at night and I can't, either I can't get to sleep, which is probably a bad idea to start watching something on your phone when you can't sleep. But like when I wake up in the morning, like I'll watch I watch Lower Decks on my phone because the expectation for, look at Rob. Okay, maybe we should talk about Lower Decks in a second. But the expectation, like it's
low.
No, but it's filler. For me, it's filler. It's a fun thing that I can watch. So maybe we should. Do you want to get into Lower Decks? Or?
Yeah, sure. I was just
anyone here want to talk about Lower Decks? Let's
Fraser and I were like, 60-inch plasma. We're on the same page, Fraser and I.
Yeah.
But then
Steve's casting.
Scott drops his bona fides with like 66-inch OLED. Get out of here.
He wins. And then Steve's casting. Is there any lag when you cast over Steve? Like, do you find that there's any lag? I don't know if he's still in here. Fraser, he's got Dredd 3D. Everyone, Dredd, Dredd, man, Dredd, very underrated.
Dredd, man.
Yeah,
Dredd is the best.
It's a great movie.
Yes, I really wish that they had made a sequel. Man, Carl Urban was amazing as Dredd. And Dredd, I feel
like, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, go. I was gonna say Dredd in 3D is phenomenal.
Yeah, no, it was great. I wish I saw it in the theaters. I'm really sad I missed out on that experience in the theaters. A good 3D experience, quote unquote. That sounds like people are saying.
Honestly, dude, I'm telling you, when this whole pandemic is over, you got to come out to Ajax. 90 man. 90 minutes. We'll throw those shades on, and you watch it in the dark with surround sound. I'm telling you, dude, that 3D will kill you. It's amazing.
I think the only thing I had on 3D, because my brother-in-law has a 3D TV, the only thing I ever tried on that TV was, I think, Avengers 1, which is not really a 3D movie. They just kind of tacked it on, right? So
a lot of those movies were post-conversion 3D.
Yeah.
Dredd was filmed in 3D, as was Gravity. Gravity, listen, people may not like that movie much, and some of it doesn't make a lot of sense, but man, does it look amazing in 3D.
The Sandra Bullock, right?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Lower Decks.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk, guys. We're gonna talk Lower Decks. I know. Fraser's in here. He's got an opinion. I know Lewis is in here. I don't know if Scott has caught it or Steve might have watched it too. He's big into this type of stuff. Look at this.
I'm kind of hoping that Scott has better taste than to watch Lower Decks. Scott was watching Dark, and then he all of a sudden started having some crazy power outages, and he went dark himself. So I don't know if he's still watching or not. But Lower Decks. Okay, episode 2 dropped last Thursday.
Mm-hmm. And Rob was not a fan.
Has not changed.
This guy texted me, I guess, right after he watched it and said, I'm so mad that I didn't take a nap and I watched the show instead.
Yeah.
Oh no, he corrected him. I thought Lewis was going to say he watched episode 3 already. I'm like, no. But yeah, he's correcting himself there.
Episode 2 of Lower Decks.
Right. Yeah. Do you want to speak on it first? I think he liked it.
Sure. Steve Fraser says he's not feeling it. So you may have Lewis in your corner, and I'm going to have Fraser in mine. Listen, I think we may have talked about this when we were not recording on Sunday. Yeah. Somebody had asked me if I didn't like it because it has the Star Trek moniker, and honestly, it has not.
That was Tim.
Tim. I am not that.
Tim is a big proponent. If they didn't brand it Star Trek, that he would definitely be able to watch it and maybe enjoy it, and has an additional expectation.
Sure, I am not that picky when it comes to that type of stuff. I really couldn't. Whether it was Star Trek or just called Lower Decks, a cartoon, and it was like a riff like the Orville, I would give it a shot. I don't care. I don't find it funny. I find the main character, who's played by Jack, whatever. Anyways, the guy from The Boys. I find I don't fault him, but I find his character, he's always screaming. And as a dad of 2 kids, I hear enough screaming, man.
That tone just drives into your ear.
I'm also married. I hear enough screaming from 3 other people in my house that when I'm watching a TV show, I don't need to hear it all the time. And I don't find the humor the jokes to be funny. I feel like it's trying too hard. Like it's not hitting me. And so I don't care what happens in episode 3. I'm out. I'm not watching it.
Yeah. Okay. So for
There
me,
you go, thanks.
yeah. So for me, it's different. It kind of fits into the slot. I didn't expect it to be jokes on top of jokes, like crazy, like ha 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 every single second. I'm expecting it to be like a Big Bang Theory ish sitcom.
Big Bang Theory
Right?
was funny.
Was it funny throughout all the whole thing? I'm pretty
You
sure if you
know,
watch those early episodes, it's pretty cringe, right?
no, actually,
When they
that.
get
So can I tell you a funny story about that? Is that my, my wife teaches night school as well as like day school and all that stuff, right? And so sometimes I find it hard. I have an 11-and-a-half-year-old son and an almost 9-year-old daughter. But let's rewind to last September. I find it hard to find stuff with them to watch when it's just the three of us on 2 nights a week. So I decided to say, hey, let's throw on Big Bang Theory because I heard it's pretty funny. The very first episode, the very first scene, the two main characters, Sheldon and Leonard, are at a sperm bank to be a donor at a sperm
I
bank.
vaguely remember this, yes.
Right. And so this is me going, all right, like I'm hoping my kids don't pick up on what's happening right now. So I actually found that those early seasons were pretty good, man. They were hitting some pretty good beats. I quite enjoyed Big Bang Theory a lot more than I thought I would have.
I think it definitely did start off better, and then towards the end, I didn't watch any of the end stuff, but I had fun with it. I know Andre hates the show with a passion, but early episodes, like even have you gone back and watched Rick and Morty season 1?
Now I've actually never watched one single episode of Rick and Morty because.
Oh, really?
Right, because we don't in Canada. You have to subscribe to, I think it's the Comedy Channel or maybe the Teletoon, and I just don't do that for my cable package. So I've never watched it, and I don't have an Android box. So I've never seen a Rick and Morty episode. Eventually, I'm sure it'll hit some other streaming platform that I'll watch it.
It's on. I have something on Amazon. It's an extension called Stack TV.
Yeah,
and it's on there. And I actually do recommend that service.
Really? But how much is it extra to add on to that, man?
I want to say it's like $10 a month, but you get a lot of like you get stuff for yourself, which is Rick and Morty, and the new DC Harley Quinn show, and like other kind of random stuff. But you get if you're the wife or someone else in your household likes the home and garden show type things, or cooking show stuff, it has tons of that, like so much, like Flip Your House, all that stuff. It's all on there, so you don't have to pay for your cable package and get the TLC or the HGTV. Yeah, so for $10 in addition to whatever your Prime thing is, you get access to like a whole bunch of these kind of, I like to call them background shows. You just turn them on while you're eating or cooking dinner or something like that.
But you're asking, that's $120 commitment for background stuff.
Oh, I have no idea how much the base Amazon Prime is because that's my wife's thing.
no, but it's an extra $100. It's an extra, if it's $10 a month to add Stack, you're looking, that's $120. I have Prime. I think Prime has been by far the best value because not only do you get your free delivery, but you also get the Prime movies, right? Like Amazon Prime. So I love that. I think that's the best for $80 a year. You can't beat that value wise on anything else that you have. But to add an extra $120 a year just to have background stuff and to watch 30 episodes of Rick and Morty. Maybe I'll go to your house and I'll
the DVDs are so cheap. Like I think they had the seasons on sale for like $20 or $30 at the most. But I'm actually surprised. I think you would actually. I think you would dig Rick and Morty, even though I know Rick and Morty is a show that's not for everybody. It's definitely not for everybody. I know Andre hates it with a passion.
But did you watch Community?
I tried.
See, I
tried several
Community.
times. Yeah, I couldn't get into it. Some people say you got to kind of jump ahead and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of the highlights from it.
Okay.
I really like Donald Glover and who's the other guy that plays Ahmed, I think. Those two guys. Yeah. Those guys are hilarious. And I've seen a lot of clips of them, but when I try to watch the rest of the show, it loses me.
Okay. I really like Community. So I have a funny feeling I probably would like Rick and Morty. I just haven't gotten around to watching it.
Yeah.
So Lower Decks, I didn't enjoy episode 2. I actually think Fraser just said in the comments that he also didn't like episode 2.
He doesn't like it. Yeah.
I think Lewis liked it. He's on your side, and
he's okay. He's okay with it. I think
the problem was okay with it. Your comment to me was it's fine.
It's fine for what it is.
It's fine is not that's not a glowing recommendation. It's like my wife says, "How was dinner?" I'm like, it was fine. I probably wouldn't eat it again.
That's when you end up dead. No, but I think some shows you just want them to be able to watch them and just be like, okay, they don't have to be like, for sitcoms. I guess maybe my bar is pretty low because some shows are very terrible. Like, if you ever watched, did you ever watch Two Broke Girls with Kat
No,
Dennings?
no, no.
It
I had no interest in watching
horrible.
that show.
Look at
Um,
Scott wants you to choose between Transformers and Lower Decks.
that's really rude.
You would choose neither. You would choose death.
That's yeah. I
I
yeah.
choose death.
I would choose my wife's cooking because it's fine. No, that's a
Office is
really
good, Lewis. You should watch Office.
never watched it. Transformers versus Lower Deck. Man, dude. Hey, okay, in all fairness, I'd actually have to watch 6 episodes of Lower Deck to compare. To compare to 6 episodes of Transformers.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Yes.
If I was going based on, but I'm not going to do that, John. If I was going based on watching the first 2 episodes of Transformers,
You would have ejected.
the first 2 episodes of Lower Decks, I would have checked myself into a mental hospital. But I probably would have to pick Lower Decks. Reason being, I didn't sleep through Lower Decks. I fell asleep.
And it's fine. At least it's fine.
And that was it was less than fine. Transformers is a pant load, all right. And there was only 1 episode in that stupid series that was good, and that was episode 4. And I said to you, 4 turns it around. If they hold momentum, I'm hooked. And they didn't.
They did. It just fell apart.
I'm out. Yeah, get out of here. And we also talked about, as an aside, we had a mini episode that came out. We talked about the DC, what they're calling the DC bloodbath.
Yeah. So that's live today. Yeah.
Yeah, and so if people don't know about that, please again go to iTunes, Spotify, go onto YouTube. The channel's there. It's Stu, John, myself, and Andre talking about everything that happened last week with DC. I mean, Warner Brothers went through a massive slashing of the workforce, but obviously DC cut 25% of their line and 20% of their personnel. And there are 2 new interim editor-in-chiefs. Jim Lee has been removed from that position, but he's still a chief creative content officer, and some new, and we didn't discuss what his new title is, but essentially he's overseeing the integration of DC properties through the different mediums. So could he be like the Kevin Feige? Probably not, but I think that's maybe the idea, is that he'll be integrating and overseeing comics, the books, toy lines, video games, movies, TV shows. Like, he'll be the person that kind of oversees to make sure that all the properties are being done properly or respected. I don't know. At any rate, we talk about that. There's a lot, especially from the retailer point of view, from John and Andre, talking about how it may affect them. I got to admit, I was a little bit surprised at Andre's take. I was really expecting him to be a bit more angry about it, for lack of a better term. I was kind of surprised. He came out with a really interesting take on it, and it gave me perspective of, a bit of a different. I did expect him to be like, this is shit, and being really angry and upset about it. So it was good. It was good to hear from both of you as to what you think and how this new change is going to affect the business going forward.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, was it over Warner Brothers in general, or was it just the DC Comics?
No, so Warner
division.
Brothers, Warner Brothers, AT&T was bought out Warner Brothers, so there was a lot of redundancies. So a lot of Warner stuff, a lot of the Warner executives, including like the Warner TV, like Kevin Riley, I think, was in charge of television properties and all that. He was gone. There's a lot of people lost jobs last week on that. But with DC proper, it was about 25% of their titles having cut and 20% of their staff.
Mm.
Yeah. So we talk a lot about that. We talk about, not a lot, but we get it. It's about half an hour, I think, the episode, but we talk about the inside baseball. I'm just going to pitch this again for those who.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you want to talk about, you mentioned a book. We only got to it towards the end because we wanted to keep it kind of tight and just keep people informed on what was going on. Because some people didn't know. I mentioned it to Tim right before we went rolling, and he's like, what? And he's like, this is crazy. So yeah, Rob had something to mention about like 1978.
78, this happened. It has happened before with DC. It was called the DC implosion. And what happened was, again, it was over cost cutting, and they were looking at, actually, DC were looking to sell their properties. There was even a rumor going around, I actually think it was probably true, that they were looking at actually licensing out their properties to Marvel, for Marvel to publish, because there was a history way back in the 50s and 60s where Marvel was actually publishing some of DC's stuff. And at the time in 1978, the implosion, they only kept 6 titles. They cut everything else. So we talk about inside baseball about what happened last week with the bloodbath, but I recommended and I referenced this book. So for those who are not going to be watching the YouTube version and only hearing on podcast, I'm going to put it up here. It's called Slugfest. It's the epic 50-year battle between Marvel and DC. You can get it at any bookstore. Amazon usually has them. And I would highly recommend, even if it's not, this is not just about what happened with DC in 78. This is about the full history. It talks about Stan Lee. It talks about Jeanette Kahn and all the people at DC, but the battles between DC and Warner, DC and Marvel, the
Any
fight.
Bob Kane stuff?
Yes, there's some stuff about Bob Kane in here. Oh yeah, all the history about all those creators, and the fights that they had to get the crossover, the Spider-Man Superman crossover that they did, and what happened with Avengers, the X-Men, and JLA, and everything else. And I mean, honestly, if people are just fans of comic books, okay, you're a fan of. Sorry, guys, the microphone or the camera's backwards for me.
Yeah,
here.
this one flips it. Yeah, it's very weird.
So if you're a fan of just comic books in general, and we all know there's an issue between DC and Marvel, they're rivals. That's what it is. I would highly recommend this book. It's like $20, and it's a quick read. A couple hundred pages. It's a good read. It lays out, and it's just fun. They talk about even the Exodus, the Marvel Exodus of the Image guys. So there's a lot in here. I would definitely recommend. And if you have any basic history, even of what happened with Siegel and Schuster with the Superman stuff, it's covered in here. A lot of comic book history and publishing is covered in here. So I would definitely recommend it. I dropped my book. I almost dropped a statue on Sunday.
Oh man, if you haven't watched the DC video, you should definitely watch it. I forgot what. Maybe I'll try and drop a timestamp. But there's a hilarious moment where Rob whips out his Superman statue.
Nice big
it's like showing it off,
Superman statue,
showing it off, and he almost it's all on camera, which is hilarious. He almost drops it.
I did.
And his reaction is like. He was going this way, and you just kind of see him go, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
it's like,
I try to put it down and place it behind me, so
you should never.
People could see it, and
so that's a rookie mistake. You never want to take.
Oh no!
Like if I take one of these toys here and I move it to a different spot that hasn't been prepped, then that's a bad idea, man.
Yeah,
never do that.
So because Lewis is asking if I drop any more statues, and I'm expecting him. He's probably referencing my one-armed Voltron because I dropped it and I smashed up the pieces. It actually broke. Look at my red lines in the baggie. But I actually had the right. I got my replacement pieces.
How come you haven't built that yet? I was gonna say, hey, have you seen I don't know if any other Lego collectors are on here. Have you seen that Batmobile, the '89 Batmobile that they did?
Yeah, so I actually wanted to buy it. It's $300 though, bro.
That's nothing. That's nothing for a Lego. That's nothing for a Lego.
The Voltron.
Have you seen it? I saw it in person. I saw it in person in the Lego store. And I don't collect Legos or anything like that. And I was like, damn, that's nice. And they also had I don't know if you know, they had an NES, which is the dumbest thing ever because NES is a freaking rectangle. But then an NES made out of Lego. And my buddy was asking the Lego employees, and he's like, it instantly sold out. Didn't even touch the shelf. And he was like, it's the hottest thing ever. I was like, what? People are going to buy a giant gray brick? But that's Lego, man. You got to go.
In this NES Lego thing, so it replicates the NES. And
but
then
you can't play.
Hang on. So it comes with a game cartridge. You got to build a game cartridge that you can flip up the lid. You put the game cartridge and it drops and locks in. It's got the buttons, and it comes with a TV that you build, a Lego TV with a Mario on a stick, and you turn this and the Mario guy jumps up.
Yes, they had that on display. Yeah, they had that on display.
Pretty cool thing. Again, $300. I'm not sure.
It's probably flipping now on eBay for 500 plus.
Probably.
Any money. Yeah. If anyone wants to pop up their eBay app right now, you'll probably see people flipping it for like 500 plus.
So I did want that Batman Lego, the Batmobile, the '89 one. I went online just a little while ago, and it said it was sold out. But we just got the Lego magazine in because I'm a Lego subscriber. We got the magazine, and it says, it's still for sale. So I don't know. Maybe they made more. I'm not sure. But I should. It's hard to pull.
They didn't have it in store. They didn't have it in store, but we didn't feel like asking about it because I don't think my friend was serious about getting it. But it didn't look like it was sold out because they actually had one on display. They didn't have the Nintendo. They had that mechanism of the Mario jumping on display, but yeah.
The Voltron was awesome. It's the 5 lions. You can display them as the 5 lions. Have you seen the box? What it looks like?
I think I saw it on display. Yeah, I think they had it in the window at one point.
I have it. I have it down over there, but it's gorgeous looking box. It's like a display box. You put that up and display it with the rest of your shit, right? So
yeah,
Lego's Mario,
so good.
Couldn't justify Nintendo. Probably 500, more like 800. Remember the Animal Crossing Switch? Yeah, I know. That's the problem with these game systems. Listen, the PS5 and Xbox are dropping at the end of this year, and still they're not publishing prices because they're going to wait to see what the other person does. So, but yeah, man, I mean, so I almost dropped that statue. So for those who want to laugh, almost shit myself, you got to watch that video because I'm almost tempted to bring the statue just so people can.
No, don't, man. I don't want it. It was a great moment to capture on video, but I don't want to capture the moment when you actually break that.
It was the Jim Lee DC direct statue, Superman statue.
Yeah,
and it's got that massive flowing cape. I'm gonna see if I can try to pull up. Okay, I'm gonna do my best here. Okay, hang on.
No, it's not gonna show up.
Hang on. It will. Oh, that's not the damn one.
That's not it, dude. That's like the old school one.
Which way am I going? Okay, there. That's the statue. It's huge. Like obviously it's on my phone, but I'm telling you that cape. It's so hard. It's so long, and that thing almost dropped. Oh yeah, I would have. Yeah, Lewis is right. I'm not gonna bring it.
That's why don't mess with the statues. Like I'll grab these action figures, no problem. I can drop this thing, and it's good.
Yeah, but I was
the head snapped off.
Yeah, the elastic on the
inside. He's good. He's still good.
But yeah, I would have, because that cape would have been toast. I would have had to bruck up that Superman statue. Yeah. So you know what? Here, I'll just bring out this little Superman statue that I got from the Man of Steel Blu-ray instead, and we'll have that. There you go. That's it.
All right, don't drop it. But yeah,
so that's Sunday or Wednesday. Sorry. The DC, the Inside Baseball stuff on the Bloodbath is out now. Please listen to it. When Rob was holding him by the one leg, that's foreshadowing. Wednesday is the new episode. We talk all about Project Power, whether we like it or not. Should you watch it? If you haven't watched it, watch or listen to the podcast. Maybe it will sway your opinion one way or the other. Maybe some people, like the guy next to me here, really liked it, and maybe some people, like me, didn't. But I'm not.
Sorry, my video.
Yeah, your video cacked out.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to say is DC fans, this Saturday, Fandom is happening. John, can you still hear us?
I can still hear you. Yeah, my video is gone for some reason. I don't know what's up.
DC Fandom is happening on Saturday. This weekend is 24 hours of content. Not over 24 hours, just 24 hours of content. If you were on Facebook, kind of keep it locked to Heroes World, because I think Andre and I might try to jump in and do a couple of hits on what we are watching. Probably some new Wonder Woman footage, definitely a Suicide Squad trailer, definitely some Batman footage. So probably Saturday night we'll get a lot of that stuff.
They dropped a teaser image. You think they're going to just drop another teaser image? Yeah. What's in the teaser image, Rob?
Okay, so John sent it excited because Zack Snyder dropped a teaser image for Zack Snyder's Justice League, which we will also get some more information about on Saturday. And you open up the teaser image, and it's just a background photo of the old Wayne Manor that we saw at Justice League. And if you remember, they visited that place a few times throughout the movie, but especially at the end when he and Diana go into the empty hall, and he says it'd be perfect to have like a hall here with a table and invite other people, thereby obviously making it the new Hall of Justice. I said to John, this is the worst teaser image ever. It doesn't tease anything. And John says, I don't remember this. What is it? So I don't understand why John, first of all, can't get his camera.
I've seen it once. I don't know. Someone called me and I denied the call, and now I have no camera. So whatever. We're learning as we go. I'm on my phone, so
double click the home button, bro. Get back to where you're supposed to be.
Dude, it might close down the whole thing. There's a web browser utility we're using here, so we'll have to wrap it up. But yeah,
okay.
I only saw it once in theaters.
This is actually a better statement than me.
Yeah, yeah. There you go, you jerk. I can kick you out. No, I can actually make it all Rob. There we go.
That's what we're talking about. Now we don't have to have that weird,
no, we don't have an like blank box.
Hey, for those who prefer this view over what we had before, let us know in the comments. But that was the worst, John. John has no ability to recall movies whatsoever of anything except for Bloodsport. He could probably.
Oh man, I love Bloodsport.
Yeah, he can probably tell you exactly what Bloodsport is all about, like verbatim. He will give you he will tell you the script, but you can ask anything else. He has no clue. It drives me crazy because I remember this, and he's like, "Nope." I said, "How many times did you not watch the movie?" And he goes, "Ah." So, are you finished Umbrella Academy, or are you still trying to get through that?
No, I've had to watch too many other things in the meantime, so I'm gonna have to try and get back to it very soon. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So we are going to have to do an episode on Umbrella Academy. So
I think it's definitely going to be me, you, Tim, maybe Stu. Yep. I don't know if Andre's in for Umbrella Academy, but we'll see if he wants to come in or not.
And see Scott. Look at my best buddy Scott. This is the content I was looking for. That's
right. All Rob all the
time. Okay. So, anyways, please tune in Saturday. Keep it locked on at Facebook. At some point, you will see Andre and I, maybe even John and I, getting through, just doing really quick hits on what's being dropping on Fandom, maybe even just commenting on stuff. So you might see some notifications on your phone. The DC Bloodbath and what we talk about, what we thought about it from a perspective of a retailer and from a fan who buys a lot of the DC Direct stuff because that's been shut down. That's on right now. YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Google Play, everything else. So go listen to that. And Wednesday is the new episode where we talk about Project Power. To be honest with you, I have to keep thinking. That's why I keep looking up in the sky. I have to keep thinking what the hell we talked about because whatever.
We covered a lot.
Yes, we covered a lot about it. So Project Power, should you watch it? Will you like it? Won't you? Listen, at least it's worth a watch. Not just the episode, but the movie. You got to watch it and let us know what you guys think. Please comment, subscribe, do all that type of stuff. And hey, man, thanks everybody for tuning in, whether you're catching it live right now, like Lewis and Scott and Fraser, really appreciate your comments, or if anybody's going to watch it afterwards.
Steve,
thanks for coming out and, being a part of it. It's been great.
Right, cool.
It's been a lot better me being here on my own.
Yeah, apparently.
and that floating voice of John somewhere in the background.
You're a dick.
Dad? Is that you?
All right, thanks again, folks. I'll try to make sure I don't do it on maybe I'll try and do it on a computer next time. But yeah, so keep an eye out. Like Rob said, Saturday we'll probably be doing some live reactions, and then we'll probably pod about it on
we're definitely going to
Sunday.
Do the next episode will definitely be a rundown of everything GC fandom. So yeah. All right, guys.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
You can wait for me, Rob.
John says bye. Bye. See ya.
Good dick.
Mom.
All right. Peace out, folks.